Hey, everybody, welcome. I'm Rob Booker. It is Thursday, and it's the 24th of April, 2020. Remember, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all people. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. We're going to run through a few things really quickly. I'll follow up with some videos today, but we're going to do a really quick morning call here. And we'll get back on track next week. We have someone starting to help us out next week, which means we'll be back on our regular pre-market schedule next week, which is great. So let's first talk about Macys. I messaged folks yesterday, but it didn't go through to everybody. It doesn't matter because the price is even better than what it was. I shorted Macys. Let me take a look at the retirement pattern chart. So I did a webinar with Mark Hay. I did a recording yesterday with Mark Hay, and we'll make sure you get a copy of that recording. And we talked about Macys, and it's a retirement pattern. First of all, the fundamentals are terrible, unfortunately, for Macys, and it's underneath all of the moving averages, and it fell below the moving averages, and then rose back up to hit the moving averages, and created a retirement pattern. And so I shorted 600 shares of Macys. So if you can hear my dogs, they're saying good morning to the handyman that's coming over to work on some stuff in the house. So I shorted 600 shares of Macys, and super happy that I did. I think there's a long way down for this. I don't want Macys to fail. I don't want Macys to be in trouble. I don't want Macys to have people unemployed. I prefer that I have to close this trade with a small loss because Macys is doing well and coming back. But it doesn't look like that's the case. And it looks like there's going to be a new age of retail for sure. And so I shorted Macys. Tomorrow we will have an S&P 500 vertical spread like we've been talking about, planning, taking, thinking about, either on the SPY or the IWM. I still own the puts on IWM. I own the $119 puts that we talked about yesterday. I'm super reasonably happy to be in that trade and not planning at any given time to get out of that trade. So not changing my mind about that. Let's just a couple other things I wanted to check out on our list. Still own LXRX. It's moving okay today. Not really great. I still want to own this stock. I still want to be in this stock. There's a lot of reasons that it's a great strike zone play and it's a great strike zone launch pattern setup. So I'm going to keep it. I'm still short Uber through the puts, but I think I'm going to have to let this one go with a small loss. It's just about to break above this trend line from before. It's not looking like Uber wants to fall, and I can be wrong and not take it personally. I'm still long BCRX, and it's finally coming back from the dead, so to speak, and there's lots of insider buying. I think it can reach at or above $4. I'm still long Resi, and I think that there's plenty of upside potential in this, especially with the insider buying that has gone on. I'm still short Chewy, which makes everybody angry at me. Just kidding, not everybody's angry at me. I'm still short Chewy. I still have the puts. I'm still happy to be in that trade with those puts. I'm still pleased to be in that trade. I'm still long RFP and very happy about that. And we could take a look at all of those trades right here, including my Halliburton trade. So I'm up $1,200 on Halliburton, and I'm down about $1,200 on Nokia. There's part of me that really wants to sell off the Nokia shares and sell Halliburton and call it break even. That would be absolutely amazing. But Halliburton is really a super giantly long-term trade for me, and I just can't bring myself to close that out. I have 3,400 shares of RFP. I'm only down $247 now at an average trade price of $1.74. I think this is a stock that could easily go to $3, $4, $5 or even higher. It's a value stock. The company has money, has insider buying. It has good financials. It's a forest products company. So I believe it should be reasonably okay. The Chewy, someone asked me the other day, which Chewy puts did I buy? I bought the 17th of July expiration, $44 puts. I paid $6.76 for those, and I'm down $712. Overall, I'm down $5,000 on my open positions because my Uber trades are just terrible today. Um, so I'm up over 20 grand this year on my trades, and this Uber trade is way outside the boundaries of what it should be. And I've got to clear that up today. I've really got to get that one under control. And I don't think I called it wrong. I think I just took the trade too big. I think that's, the main issue here with this trade is that I went in too big. I should have had a smaller sized position so that right now I wouldn't even be considering any of the stuff that I'm talking about closing it. I just that would solve all the problems if it were just a smaller trade. So it's got two bearish profit circles. It's really got three bearish profit circles. It is in a bearish trend. It is going to fall, but I might have to close it because I went in too big, which blows. Makes me super disappointed in myself. I'm going to blow through the currencies real quick. There's not a lot here that interests me yet, but we're getting close. I want to show you just the ones that I'm most interested in. On the 4-hour chart, the Australian dollar, US dollar has bearish divergence and bearish profit circles. This is, to me, a time to sell. I absolutely love the idea of selling it. And I'll pull up the trading panel and I will sell the Australian dollar, US dollar. There aren't a lot of missed pivot targets below, but there's a nice weekly missed pivot at 62.30, which is 150 pips lower than where we are right now. That's perfectly fine. Canadian dollar, Japanese yen looks bullish. Bullish divergence, two bullish profit circles, followed by two bearish profit circles that were that already kind of played out. We got a drop after each of those in the midst of a downward trend. It looks like oil kind of temporarily bottomed out. We're making a higher low. So I like the idea of a buy trade on the Canadian dollar, Japanese yen. There's nice missed pivot targets above. However, if we dropped below 76, I would change my mind. Want to look at the euro Turkish lira? Bearish divergent. Oh my gosh. You get paid every day you hold a sell trade on the euro Turkish lira. At some point in time, this will be a trade that goes exactly in the opposite direction. So I'm actually not opposed to shorting the euro Turkish lira right away. The British pound is the other one that really interests me right now. I think the British pound is across the board showing bearish signs, multiple bearish profit circles, nearly breaking head and shoulders patterns. I think the British pound is squarely in the eyes of the bears. Yeah, Jeff says CME introduced negative oil futures options. If things don't get better, we could see a massive negative print next month. Totally agree. Totally. Allie's not angry at me. I love you, man. I'm so bullish gold, it's crazy, but it feels a little bit like it needs to pull back just the slightest amount before we could get really super involved again. All those New Zealand pairs look kind of bullish. Even we've got those bearish profit circles. It seems like these bearish profit circles already played out. Turkish lira, Japanese yen, you buy that, you get paid every day that you hold it. Just about ready to do it. Just about ready to pull the trigger on that. Dollar Canadian. This one I feel like it looks like those patterns that goes like this. So I wouldn't be surprised to see an upswing in that. Dollar yen. Dollar Mexican looks bullish also. It's in an upward trend. It printed a bullish profit circle. Kind of like the idea of buying the dollar Mexican peso, so I may do some of that. Dollar Norwegian krone, same. Up, sideways, up again. So very bullish this one as well. Also. These exotic pairs are just screaming. And gold's up a bit today as well. South African rand, Japanese yen. What a buy trade. I kind of love that buy trade. Kind of love it. Kind of love it. But, I'll let it I'll let it mature a little bit more before I go nuts. All right, I got to get the handyman all situated. Um, and I'll make a couple of videos for you. I'm going to be working from home today with a little bit of a relaxed schedule. I want to send you all the recording of the webinar I did with Marquet yesterday. We talked about a ton of financial instruments, and then we'll be back tomorrow morning and back on our pre-market schedule every single day next week.